Hi, Karen. Daphne here. Thank you for sending in your next essays. Well done, working so hard. Don't worry about timing, okay? You will get quicker as you get more confident on what to do. You'll get quicker and quicker. So for the moment, don't worry. What I would do though is make sure you always do your task two first, okay? The task two, as you probably know, has more marks, a lot more marks than task one, and it takes longer, obviously, as well. So do the task two first, give yourself 40 minutes, and then do the task one. You can usually do this quicker. So that's a better way to do it. So thank you for putting in the pictures. I really appreciate that as well. So the bar graph illustrates the record of three brands about cars sold in 9 European countries. Okay, let's see if we can paraphrase some of this. Okay, the bar graph illustrates the record of three types of cars. Yep, so you use types instead of brands. So three types of cars or makes of car, uh, okay, not about, so and singular. Well, we use car as singular rather than plural here. Um, so three types of car sold in 9 European countries studied in 2000. Okay, good. Yes, European countries, but they've got the same. So 9 countries in Europe. I mean, it's not much difference, but it's just a tiny bit different, just to show that you understand this is quite important. Okay, so just paraphrasing the question. Overall, now small there, among the three car brands, and you need a comma because that was a little mini phrase. Overall, BMW represented the most popular car brand chosen. Now, consumed, be careful here because I consume food. Yeah, I don't usually consume a car. So be careful on that word. So I would say purchased or chosen or preferred. So there's lots of words you can use in these countries as a whole, followed by, you don't need, just go straight in, followed by Ford or followed closely by Ford. Sorry, follow that adverb should go with a verb. Follow closely by Ford. And then, yeah. Um, as for 9 countries, so of all 9 countries, or of all countries, watch out for these little tiny words. Of all 9 countries, Hungary, and then comma there, Hungary posted the highest number of car purchases, whereas Belgium had the least aggressive. Now, not aggressive. Aggressive is behavior, so not aggressive. The least, uh, it's also the smallest country, so the least um, active, maybe, car consumers, car shoppers. Or what I would easier is Belgians, like the people, Belgians were the least active shoppers, or Belgians bought the least number of cars, quite simply. Based on the graph, the total car consumption. So every time I'm just cautious about that word. So find another word for that. Were almost 400 in total in Hungary, which recorded the highest compared to the others. Okay, almost 400 units, I'd go. France was not behind with 300, while in contrast, so use these connecting words here. While in contrast, Belgian purchases uh, were the lowest. Okay, you could give me were the lowest. I want another number here because you've already said they're the lowest. Were the lowest with um, how many times? Let's just do a comparison between these two. Okay, we're going to group it and we can group and compare. So with almost 4 times less units sold. I'm not going to go Hungary because we've talked a lot about Hungary. Then let's go these three, because you have to mention everything. Then Germany, Ireland, and Holland, for example, and then maybe 3 times. So you need to mention all the countries, and you need to make sure you group. So here I've grouped these three because they have quite similar numbers. Make sure this isn't the same as this, because you're talking about totals. Here you could kind of be talking about a brand. You're sort of careful, I know where you are. Here you're talking about totals, but here you could almost be talking about one brand, and here you're talking about the other brands. You might need to be more specific. Selling a BMW accounted for more than 100 sales in 4 countries. Okay, nice grouping. Okay, good. Likewise, Ford showed a relatively large amount of car sales in Hungary. Yeah, with over 100 units. While it was revealed, the now this is quite nice. If you do it like this, it's the passive. It was revealed that the lowest sales, uh, the lowest sales of Ford, or of these even, was in Germany and Italy in terms of Audi. Unrecognizable. Okay, were insignificant compared to. So compare it. This is what you're doing. You're grouping and comparing. So Audi were no good in those countries, were insignificant in there compared to, let's go Germany and Hungary. So if I say to you, group and compare, I think you might find that easier. Okay. You can't tell me everything, but it's really important. So I'm actually going to go select, group and compare. When you see this picture, what I do is take a pencil and literally mark with a pencil. Okay, well, that's kind of interesting. That's interesting. This is pretty equal, but that's obviously not. That's quite a big contrast to that. So these are the things that I want to be looking at, and just take a pencil and just mark them, and then focus on those things. And then you'll find your answer is a lot easier as well. And you are also answering the question, because this here, select and report. This is super, super important. But well done there. You've done a good reply. I'm just trying to kind of simplify it for you. Here we go. These days, problems with pollution are becoming worse, particularly in large cities. What are the reasons and how can this be solved? Okay. As the environmental contamination is getting serious, especially in developed and big, especially big and developed cities are suffering from it. Okay. As now, you're talking about it in general now. As environmental contamination is getting serious, especially in, and I wouldn't use big, I just go large, it's slightly better, large and developed cities, yeah, many people are suffering. Okay, you need a kind of subject. At the moment, you haven't got a subject. This is your subject. Many people are. Oh, sorry, hang on. That shouldn't be coloured. That should be. I'm going to put it there because actually we do want a colour here. Many people, okay, are suffering from it. So, and then we can take out that. That was my fault. Okay. I believe this is mainly because of overpopulation in certain places, plural, and in turn causes more emissions of fossil fuels, which are the main culprit of pollution in the modern world. Good. However, there are some solutions to the problem of pollution. And to connect this, and in this essay, I will discuss. Don't go casual like that. I will discuss. The talk about is a little bit informal, so keep this formal, doing really well. The causes with examples. Nice, well done. It is apparent, okay, no contractions. It is apparent that, or, okay, experts suggest. Yeah? The primary reason for devastating pollution in big cities, so watch out with that word big, a little bit low level, upgrade, is overpopulation. We don't need that because you're just repeating. You've said cities here, so you don't need to say it again. It's overpopulation, which leads to more possibility of causing critical environmental damage. Good. The more people who live in a city, the more pollution. It's not quite the more. It's a little bit different here. The more people who live in a city, the more pollution. Okay, the more people who live in a city. All right, sorry. Okay, this does work. The more people who live in a city, the more pollution is produced. The more pollution. It kind of works. I just want to get this absolutely right for you. The more people live in a city, the more pollution is produced by them. It kind of works, Karen. I think you might just be better just not doing that here. The more people who live in a city, uh, the more people who live in a city, the greater the output of pollution. Pollution produced by them. The more people who live in a city, the greater the output. Yeah, good. For example, Seoul is likely to have more trash, which comes from numerous consumption made by a large number of citizens, as opposed to the small countryside towns of South Korea. Might have more trash. Okay, including, you could put here, including plastics. So we can say what they are. Okay. Likewise, driving cars brings about a significant amount of burning fossil fuels. Good. Contribute to the greenhouse effects. Good. Let's go damaging greenhouse effects. It's undeniable that human beings' activities have detrimental impacts on the environment, and accordingly, I go which accordingly leads to hazardous effects. Very nice writing. This is really, really good, Karen. Well done. It's a difficult topic, and you're approaching this very clearly, very easy to understand your coherence. This is really nice writing. Nevertheless, there are a couple of actions which governments and citizens could take. I'd definitely go could here to prevent themselves from the worst consequence. With regard to government's responsibility for this issue, implementing, I don't think you need that. So just, you said governments will do something, so let's go straight in. What are they going to do? Implementing an acceptable law to deal with concentration of population in big cities is, yeah, so watch out, big, yeah, is necessary, okay, necessary to avoid, further drain of resources, okay, and then meanwhile, be more environmentally friendly and consider it's vital to keep the communities safe for the present, and at the same time, in the future. Good, really good. For instance, cutting down on the use of electricity, driving cars only when required. You don't need that. And raising awareness of pollution. Don't need that. But pollution and toxic waste. Maybe go back to your point about waste, which you made. Other things all citizens should pay attention to. Very nice. Clear solutions which connect to the points you made there. So that's a really super paragraph. Very, very good. In conclusion, even though having a substantial number of people in the city has brought pollution, isn't perfect, both the government and citizens could find resolution together by cooperation with each other. Really nice. Very, very good. That is such a lovely improvement. Really impressive. Very, very good essay. Well done. You've answered that very nicely. Happy with that. Hope you should be too. Well done.